Hello, my name's Sideshow. I'm here with over.gg coverage of DreamHack Winter, and I'm with Klanton from LDLC, who have just topped the BYOC qualifier, beating out Penta and Mouse Sports. So you guys have made it into the main event. What were your aspirations coming into this? Obviously, you will have expected to be able to make it in because there were only a few teams who were in that kind of position. But what are your overall aspirations for the event? Do you feel like you can upset some of these top teams or make a deep run? Or how far do you reckon you can reasonably get this time?
We have practiced a lot of the bigger teams and we feel comfortable. Like, we still feel like we're the underdogs, but we actually have the a chance of beating some of the bigger teams. NIP for us is the biggest threat, and those are the ones we fear, but we feel like we have a good chance against the other teams.
Coming into the BYOC qualifier, you've obviously got some other teams there, Penta and Mouse Sports, like I said before. You've had records against these guys when you've been playing in kind of the Tier 2 European tournaments before. How did you feel against those people? Where did you pit yourself against Penta and Mouse Sports coming into this one?
We feel like we're pretty comfortable playing them, and before we had some internal struggles in the team, and I just think that we're much better when we have been boot camping and we sort things out and we're well prepared. I feel like we have a lot to come with, and Mouse Sports and Penta, we 3-0'd the Penta in the finals. And 2-0 Mouse Sports in the semis in the BYC. And I just feel like we're very comfortable playing against them before. We know what they do, so yeah.
At the boot camp, like you were saying, before you came into this event, which kind of teams were you playing against? Did you get a feel for the competition in general? How do you pit yourself in terms of the wider scene of Europe at the moment coming into DreamHack Winter?
We've been practicing against Complexity for the first time. And we feel like they are pretty strong, but we feel like we have a good chance against them. We played Fnatic too and NIP, but coming into the tournament, I feel like we still have a good chance.
You said that you played against Complexity. Obviously, since you've been a European kind of underneath the top teams at the moment, you haven't had a chance to go to these other events and compete as much against the American teams at all. Do you feel like they play a different style? Do you feel like they're as competitive as the European teams? What's your overall impression, just from your first impressions, rather, of playing against Fnatic and Complexity before this in the boot camp?
I feel like there are very much similarity because the meta is tank heavy, and just you have to have synergy between the supports and the tanks. And I feel like it's pretty much similar between the EU teams and the American teams from what I played against, at least with Complexity and Fnatic. Soldier and tank meta, a lot of the teams play Soldier, and it's a lot similar to me. I don't feel like it's much difference.
Okay. When you've been playing in these Tier 2 events, I'll call them, like the online cups coming into this kind of stuff, how do you feel the competition has been with teams over in Korea playing APAC and Apex for OGN, so a few of the top European teams are no longer there, Rogan reunited, and you've had NIP and Misfits here. What's the dynamic been like? Have new teams been starting to come up? Do you feel like you've had more of an ability and opportunity to have an impact on these tournaments?
Definitely. I think that the scene right now in EU is a bigger chance for us. We are the Tier 2 trying to get into Tier 1 team slot, and we're trying to prove it, and I think that it's a good opportunity now that the teams are playing in Korea, but we have a lot better practice now than before, playing better teams and playing more synergized and learning from our mistakes. So I think this is benefiting for us actually right now.
Here, this might be a tricky question. What do you think you have to do in order to be able to upset one of these top teams? You're coming into the main event here as the top-seeded BYOC team, so you weren't able to come through the original online qualifier, but you're now up against Fnatic and Misfits are going to be in your group. and of course there's NIP and Complexity in the other group as well, should you be able to make it through. So what do you think you're going to have to do as LDLC to be able to make a dent in this tournament and not just go out in the group stages?
Playing out of our minds. I don't know, like we just have to play our game and like trying to just, if we get countered hard or like we can't find a solution to something, we just have to throw some random out there, I think. And I think we just play our game and see what happens and take it from there, and we might have a shot actually, and we'll see like what happens. And I don't know really what, like we just have to play our best, and we'll always play better at LAN actually, so we'll see.
Do you feel like the patch has changed the dynamic of that, of whether you would have been able to make an impact? Obviously Misfits in the previous patch won the Overwatch Open, and NIP on the previous patch were still doing really well. They've actually been doing incredibly this patch as well. But do you feel like that's created an opening for you, or is it just pretty much the same? All of the teams are scrambling to adapt, and whoever manages to do it the best will eventually take it.
We actually had struggles in the last meta because every team basically played Reaper, Nano Booster Reaper, and like you always had a Mayo Zarya combo. Like there was always ults combos. We had struggles against it. We had actually struggles getting our ults properly well synergized and having right amount of combos together. So we might have used like several ults instead of like saving up. So I feel like this meta is actually better for us in a way. It requires a bit more skill too, because last time it just felt like random at some points. So I think we have a better chance with this meta actually, because we had a bit of struggle.
Do you enjoy it personally? I've seen you, while I was watching the games, kind of behind you playing against Penta in the previous one, playing a lot of Soldier 76. Obviously, it's super powerful at the moment. Meta plays a lot of D.Va as well. Ube, obviously, really good at the Roadhog as well, actually. Although I saw him switching it up a little bit to Zarya at times. So, do you feel like, personally, the players on your team enjoy playing this patch more than the previous one as well?
Yes, I definitely think so. Meta has been playing Zarya for I don't know how long, so he's just happy to play something else. And I guess Ube, he's destroying people with Roadhog. He's ridiculously strong. So I think they're enjoying it, actually, yeah.
So this event is going to be the first event for the team that's kind of a big LAN. You've previously played at the Paris LAN where you're playing against Melty. Mm-hmm. What is the dynamic like for a team that's not at the top coming into events like these? Do you feel like you're trying to qualify for as many as you possibly can and make an impact? What's the long-term goals of your team coming to these events? Do you think you'll slowly make the climb upwards, or are you waiting for something big?
We're trying to slowly climb, because as I said, we had struggles before, so we didn't really want to like be in the spot, because we didn't want to, like, I don't know how to say it, but we didn't really want to play at the tournaments, and because we know we had struggles and we would D-rank and it would be bad for us. So we took it slow and the meta changed, and now is the time for us.
So looking forwards, obviously at BlizzCon the Overwatch League was announced. And for the North American teams, I mean, that seems like a great thing, especially for the big orgs who are able to get into it and their franchise and stuff. And then for the European top teams, like your NIP and Misfits who are here, I know that the others, Rogue, Reunited, etc., are considering moving over to North America and stuff. Then there's like the tier below who are slightly less sure, like NIP and Misfits, who are still around in Europe. And then there's a tier below that who are even more unsure, I must imagine, you guys. So when you look at that long term, which is like a year from now, how do you see things changing? Do you feel like the results at the moment even are going to matter? Is it about getting into like the combine for you, or is it about proving yourself, or is it about keeping the team together, playing in third-party tournaments? Have you even thought about this kind of impact a year down the road?
Yeah, I've been giving it some thought, but we'll just take it from whatever comes next. Like, we have not fully all the information yet about the league, so I would like some more information about it. But yeah, I want to play with the best possible team and players, so I don't know, like I want the competition. If I have to move to America, I might have to do it, because if the competition is there, why should I be in Europe? But as a team right now, we're feeling that we're starting to get better and more synergized, and we'll see what happens, really. I can't really tell the future right now for us.
Just quite a bit of uncertainty, you're just going to take it as it comes, basically.
Yeah, basically.
So, in this event, as I said, you're up against Fnatic and Misfits. And you said that you're just going to have to be playing kind of out of your minds to be able to take it. Which team, though, do you think that you have more of a chance against? If you've been scrimming against them or boot camping against them, do you think you stylistically match up against one of them better, or do you think one of them is weaker? What are your thoughts on that?
Now, recently that Misfit has some roster change, I feel like they could be the easier ones. We screamed them, they are insanely strong individually players, but I feel like as a team we have a slight chance over them rather than Fnatic.
Who, of course, have made a roster change of their own.
Yes.
They lost IDDQD or partied with him or whatever happened there, and they've brought in Hafikool as well. But I hear that things are going fairly well for them. Obviously, the change for Misfits slightly more recent as well. So the other thing that I want to ask about, that you just triggered my mind with about Misfits, was that they were playing a lot with Sombra in the Alienware Monthly Melee. Is that something you've experimented with? Is that something you've seen other teams experiment with against you? How do you feel? Do you think it's going to have an impact for starters?
We've been actually Complexity. When we screamed them, we actually found out that if you shoot a Roadhog, let's say a Roadhog, and you hack up health kit with Sombra, and the Roadhog just takes damage, and go back and take the health kit. Sombra gets super high in ult charge, and we didn't actually know that before. So we got super stomped by Sombra ultimate several times, and we thought someone was feeding her the ult or something. We didn't know, but we haven't really experimented that much with Sombra. We feel like there are still better setups. She's really strong and you can do insanely good combos with her, but we feel more comfortable with other heroes right now. And we're starting to feel more comfortable playing against her as well. So we're going with what we feel is best right now.
And then obviously if you're running into that kind of thing where she's being fed, intentionally or not, or by a bug or whatever it may turn out to be, the ult is probably the biggest part of her package. Do you feel like that's going to be instrumental? Is that something that's going to catch other teams off guard perhaps when Complexity pull it out? Because it is obviously a hugely impactful ultimate at the moment. Definitely.
If you're not aware that she has ult and you don't spread out properly, hide or something like that, and everyone gets ulted, you're 100% dead almost. So you have to play around it. You have to kind of know what the ults are available for them. If they only have Sombra, you might go aggressive or something like that. But if you know they have Sombra ult, you have to kind of play around it. Okay, thank you very much for talking to me, Klanton, and good luck tomorrow when you play against the other teams.